It's brand new today. Already over 100 of you have selected this. It's 242090. It's called the Fantasy Fountain, and it is literally a floating faucet. And it looks magic, but we're going to show you the science behind the magic. Sue Ferrer is our guest with this and with Spring Hill Nurseries this hour, and she comes on to explain a little bit about this and then show us how we can all enjoy this as well. Great to have you here outside.
It's good to be here. Thank you. This is really cool,
isn't it? This is really neat. Never seen anything quite like this, and you know, when you first look at this, it's a little bit of a mind bender, because you're saying, how is the water running out of this when there is absolutely no plumbing coming from this copper faucet? It's a legitimate copper faucet.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a legitimate galvanized watering can.
It is.
And yet, how does this work?
Isn't it amazing? I mean, the cool thing is, I have people in my front yard coming up and going like this.
Right.
And they're touching it, and then all of a sudden they figure it out. But for kids, for neighbors, I mean, look at this. Even with my fingers under it, you can't really tell. You want to see how you do this?
Yeah. It's
really, really simple. And I don't know if we've got water in this, so it's a little heavy, and the cord's kind of tucked. So you grab the cord. It's super, super simple. All you're going to do, I put this together without really reading the directions, because I'm not a direction reader, and it took me 2 minutes. You're going to put this little spout on. That's super simple. Now feel this. I mean, it's a real spigot.
Yeah, that's a copper spigot.
Yeah.
Just like you would have coming out of the side of your house that you attach your garden hose to.
You're going to put this little plastic tube. This is the magic. This is the science. The tube goes in, and then you just put your spigot on.
Now let's show it. Since we're talking about the magic, you know, a good magician never reveals his tricks.
Right.
We're going to reveal the trick right here. The key are the little perforated holes that you see at the top. That's what enables the water to shoot up through the tube and flow out around the tube coming down, so it just looks like nothing but a cascading open spigot.
Right. And then you're just going to take this on here, and you're going to snap it in. When you feel it snap in place, then you know it's good to go. You turn it on, and voila, it does the exact same thing that these are doing. But, you know, when you do gardening, and I do a lot of gardening, the one thing that you want to do is you want to create focal points. You want to create things that are going to capture people's attention. And the other thing that you want to do is you want to create something like a surprise. You want to have something where they go around to the corner and it leads them somewhere, whether your garden's large or small. These are the kind of things that you're looking for that really make that garden just a really special place to be.
And Sue, I'll tell you what else is neat. You know, we're out here, we have a whole crew out here getting ready for a big gardening show, and the whole time I'm in this zone. I'm just standing here kind of zoning out, and I realize the reason I'm zoning out is because of the sound of the water.
The water, right.
If you love that sound, that gentle cascading sound, it kind of transports you maybe to that pebble-laden brook that you might go hiking by, or you hear a waterfall off in the distance. That's the sound you're going to get. It echoes kind of naturally from inside this galvanized watering can, and it never stops unless you unplug it and you want it to stop.
Right, and that's the beauty of this. The great thing is, obviously, you can use this outdoors, you can use this indoors. The other nice thing is maybe you want to put it by the front door. Maybe you do the feng shui and you're looking for something that's going to go along with that with water. This is perfect for that. And it's also great if you have maybe just a balcony and you live in a condo or an apartment or something and you really want a water feature, but, you know, what are you going to put on a balcony? This is perfect. It fits.
Yeah, it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. We all have watering cans, but you've never seen a watering can quite like this. It is brand new. The item number is 242090. If you'd like to try it on a credit card payment, you could do that. You could break it up over 2 months. $34.98, I think, is the credit card payment price on this. Try it out. See the whimsy. See the charm that Sue and I are talking about. See if this fits somewhere, even if it's on a front porch where you have no gardening accessories and you just want to enjoy the sight and the sounds. I know a lot of people would look at this and maybe say, wow, wouldn't it be cute to kind of butt it right up against the wall so people will think it actually is a faucet that's coming out from the plumbing in the side of your house. I know I have a couple of those outside of my house, but nothing that's not going to be a drain on your water bill, because all you have to do is fill the watering can up with water, plug it in, and it reuses that same water over and over again.
Yeah, now the motor has a warranty for 1 year. They recommend you use bottled water. And you're only going to fill it up halfway, okay? So you're just going to fill it up halfway. And then it just recycles over and over and over again. You just have to add water as it starts to evaporate. But that's the greatest thing. I mean, my nieces, amazed. My 2-year-old niece still can't figure it out, you know, and they want to come over to Auntie Sue's house to see the fountain because it's just so unique and it's so different. It's a nice conversation piece. And if you've been out looking, I did a little homework. And I went on the internet and I started looking at fountains. I mean, the fountain that I have in my front yard was hundreds. It's expensive. I started looking, I couldn't even find anything like this. And they're very, very expensive. This is a great deal for such a unique piece. You know,
Well,
it's just so different.
I'm glad you mentioned that word. That is really the key word of this hour, to be honest with you. It's called Garden Essentials. But when you think about it, it's really all about garden exceptionals. That's what the name of this show should be, honestly, because this is an exceptional edition. The daisies that we have coming up, the mini roses that we have, even the fruit, the strawberries and the blueberries that are coming up later this hour, it's nothing ordinary. Everything is extraordinary. Everything is exceptional. And even if you don't have room, maybe you live in a condo or an apartment and you don't have room to grow a beautiful garden like Sue's going to help show us later this hour, you do have room for something like this, a conversation piece, something to have people over and gathering around. You know, outdoor living is really kind of the theme of the spring and the summertime now for all of us. If you want to spend some better time outdoors, you still want some of the accoutrements that people can gather around and talk about. Inside the home, it's the television set. Outside the home, it's things like this that really gets everybody talking and enjoying themselves.
Well, it's nice, too, if you have a bench or a special place you like to sit. You want to see, my yard is where I relax. My yard is where the stress goes away, and I relax and I feel good. And things like this, the running water, like you said, very, very soothing. You want something that's just a focal piece, a conversation piece, or maybe you just want something that's going to just add a special touch to maybe a bare spot. This is perfect.
Sue Ferreira is joining us. My name is Rich Hollenberg. You're watching Garden Essentials. We've renamed it to Garden Exceptionals this hour. I want to show you the plug also. Not the prettiest part of this fantasy floating watering can, but I just want to show you. We've all seen these plugs before. If you have an outlet that uses the 3-prong plug, you can power this up. It doesn't take any special batteries. You're not going to need an adapter. We have a plug strip right here. All I do is plug it in, and you see, right when you plug it in, it turns on.
Amazing.
Sue already showed you how to set it up. It's as simple as installing the watering can head.
That screws right on.
You screw it on, you put this little plastic tubing in, and then you pop this on, and once it clicks in place, all you have to do is plug that in.
It's simple, it's easy, it's fun, it's very unusual. I think it's a really unique gift. It's one of those things that you just don't see everywhere, and it really does look magical. You know, when people walk up, it's funny because the first thing they do is they kind of look at it, and then the second thing they do is this. They have their finger in it right away and saying, okay, how's this work? Because, I mean, when you look at it, it truly looks like it's magic.
And my thought was that it was an optical illusion. I thought the water was coming from inside the tube. So I just went like this, figuring I'd just be touching the tube, and I was like, hey, I just got my hand wet.
Yeah, it's really neat.
And that's the fun of it. You know, that's the enjoyment of it. And when you think about, with all due respect to flowers and chocolates, those are all perishables.
Exactly.
You know, any gift that you would be giving around Mother's Day or teacher's gifts or graduation gifts, we're in that kind of time of year right now. Any of those gifts that you would normally give, they're all perishable. They're all going to go away in a matter of days, maybe weeks at most. This is something you'll have next spring and next summer and the next year after that and the year after that as well. It's something that you'll almost become known for. You know, if you live in a neighborhood where a lot of people walk around and there are baby strollers and bicycles and joggers, this is something that everyone's going to walk by the house and kind of be like, what do I see over there?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. We have to go in for your house because your house everybody can see.
I speak from experience.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
It's just a great gift idea. It's fun. It's relaxing. It's very, very unique. And that's what I look for. I want things that are unique. I don't want the same old that everybody else has. And again, it does look like it's magical, which to me is just really the key. It just draws the eye. And the sound, we could just kind of relax right now. We could go down, sit down.
I know.
Relax.
It's such a calming, serene sound. And yet you don't have to spend, as Sue pointed out earlier, hundreds of dollars on a big, sometimes imposingly big fountain if for only just to get that sound. A lot of people would pay a fortune just to hear that sound, that zen-like tranquility that you get from running water. This is one of those that doesn't take up a lot of space, fits into that whole garden motif that we're trying to help you out with this hour, and yet it has that magical element to it. It almost reminds me of my favorite movie is that movie of the chocolatier, the candy maker, and the 5 children go into the chocolate factory.
That was just on the other day.
There are all these magical things in that factory. This is like one of those things that you would find in that. It's like, where's the plumbing? You're not quite sure where it is, and you can get as close up to this water as you possibly can, and you still can't see that clear plastic tube.
You can't.
So all you see is running water. All you hear is the calming, serene sound of running water, and then you get that charm of a real old world type of a watering can.
Absolutely.
It's 242090. It's brand new. We're really excited for you to get this home and try it out. It's called the Fantasy Fountain Floating Faucet, and it's a watering can fountain for $69.95. And if you want to try it on a credit card payment, you're going to be able to do that for $34.98. And your satisfaction is obviously guaranteed. Now, coming up in just a second, we are going to be feasting.